Another month has gone by, and I'm here to do a quick update on what I've picked up over the last month. It's not just vinyl records. I've also picked up a bit of an addition to my hardware, or at least a modification to it, and a book. Now, the first one is a new album I actually picked up from a record store, and it's Keith Jarrett, The Clone Concerts. Most people may or may not like this kind of music. It's jazz piano. Actually, it's improvisational jazz piano. Keith made the music up as he went along, and there's quite a story to go along with this actual recording. I'll probably make a separate video just on this at some point. It should be an amazing album when I get a chance to listen to it. And now from a few pickups from the actual store bins. Last month I picked up the Jethro Tull Thick as a Brick because the cover had the insides, but the record was pretty scratched. Well, guess what I got this month? The Thick as a Brick album again. This time the cover is not in bad shape. The insides I've replaced with the stuff that was with the stuff that was in the last album I picked up, and the record in this case is in really good condition. So I managed to fix that album up in a hurry. And we also picked up a motion picture soundtrack. I don't know if anybody knows this one. It's Arlo Guthrie's Alice's Restaurant. I really used to like this song, or this album, back in the days when it first came out. That's unusual to find. Then the last one I picked up from the record store bins was Weather Report's Heavy Weather. It's another jazz album. Oh, dear. And then we switch on to my thrifting, which was actually surprisingly good this month. Going by date, this is a 1961 Louis Armstrong and his orchestra, A Rare Batch of Satch. It's a jazz mono recording. It's just on the plain RCA shaded dog the label. And we picked up a Johann Sebastian Bach's Two Katana, Three Moten classical album. Boy, why are they falling over? Oh boy, this is not good. The records ended up sitting on one of the plastic sleeves and were all sliding away. The next album that was picked up was something by various artists called Instrumentally Speaking. It's, I can't figure out which is the right side up on this one. Here we are. Instrumentally Speaking. It is a 1969 jazz album, and it's still shrink wrapped. Now this was a real surprise to find in the stores. Still shrink wrapped. It is opened. But it's Northernland's own Stompin Tom Connors. It's in extremely good condition. Okay. It's on the Dominion green label. I don't know if you can see that. And according to this guy, this little album is worth over $65. I'm really surprised by it. It was bought for $3.95 at a old Woolco store. They still exist, I don't know. I don't think so. And from there, we managed to pick up a Cannonball Adderley with Sergio Mendes' Quiet Nights of Quiet Stars jazz album. And a Bix, I'm going to really mess up this name, Beiderbecke story, Bix and his gang. Shouldn't try to pronounce names I can't make out. This is a 73 jazz album, and it is, okay, on the Columbia 6i label. It's a US mono pressing. I don't know this artist, so it should be interesting to listen to. It came by an Olivia NewtonJohn Let Me Be There album. The cover on this one is, well, it's got a lot of ring wear. But the album itself is on the MCA Records label, and the vinyl is in pretty good condition. Doesn't want to go back in. I haven't had a chance to wash or re-sleeve any of these yet. And that was followed by Bobby Goldsboro, Goldsboro's Greatest Hits album. Somebody originally bought it for 25 cents. So I actually paid more than they paid for it. And here's a rare one, at least for me. I find a lot of Freddy Fender albums in the stores, but almost all of them are totally shredded. This one is in actually very good condition. Although I'm not much of a country listener, I do want to have a few in my collection. And okay, I don't know what this one is. It's called People's Choice Boogie Down USA. According to... Okay, it's a disco album, according to Discogs. Oh well, like I said, I haven't had a chance to listen to any of these, and it just came out of the cover. Damn. Now, a fellow who I've collected quite a few albums of. You've got a MCA Records Best of Bing. This is a double album. Oops. I don't know if I can get that light in the... Watch, the records come flying out the sides now. Ooh, 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 ooh. Camera's a little too close for showing a spread. It was listed as a pop album. And I finally came across a Burton Cummings album I didn't actually own before. I have several of his many times. Actually going to have to sell some of them, I think. It's called Burton Cummings' Dream of a Child. This one is a completely new album to me, so should be interesting when I get a chance to listen to it. Followed quickly by a Pat Benatar, Crimes of Passion. Again, I've come across this album many times in the thrift stores, but most often it's not something you'd want to put on your turntable. In this case, it's in good condition. And we're getting near the end of the albums. I've got a Rita MacDonald's Flying on Your Own. Now, I already own the Canadian pressing of this album. This one is the US pressing. So, see if they're any different. And for the final vinyl, I picked up an album by Parnassus Recordings. It's a Richard Crooks tenor. A lot of his old recordings were on the 78s and our World War II Army discs that were transferred to vinyl by these people. Somebody paid $13.98 for this long ago when Sam the Record Man still existed in Toronto, so it should be interesting. Now for the non-vinyl, a little box showed up, and inside are two more tiny boxes. And these are, if I can get them opened, GE Jan 5654W tubes. I'm going to try to do a little bit of tube rolling in that preamp I've got to see if it actually makes any difference. GE Jan means they're General Electric Joint Army-Navy tubes. They're supposed to sound a bit better than the ones that are in the preamp itself. And I initially thought that amp didn't use the heater. It actually does. The tubes got quite warm while I was playing around with it, and it sounds okay. So I'm going to make a little bit of a A-B comparison between the two tubes. I figured out how to send sound straight into it and record it straight back out without going through speakers. So that should make an interesting comparison when I get around to making that recording. And finally, I picked up a book. It's a piece of shit. called Shit Happened. It's a story of the Shit Audio Company. That's quite a few words in there. Should make some interesting winter reading when the snow starts to blow. Well, that's it for now. So long, bye-bye, and see you around on that tube thing.